Hello, good evening. My name is Segun and I'm live today on Conversations with Segun. And I'm doing it from out of my city. So I'm having some network challenges, but anyhow, I am here and I know that. And we know it's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be an exciting event today. No matter what happens, no matter how the network is going, we're going to have some fun this evening. I want you to join us in having that fun because my guest is already seated in the studio and we'll be talking about how to take your personal brand global. The guy we have today is global. By the way, if you're already watching, whatever it is you're watching from, I'd like you to quickly share this stream with your contact. Let the people know that we're here, we're good, and we're started, and we're ready to go. Call them, share it, share it, share it. How many people are sharing? I want to see how many people are sharing. Also, I'd like to see your comments in the comment section, whatever it is you're watching from. Put up a comment there. Let's know you're watching. Let's know where you are, and let everybody be a part of this. It's going to be so much value shared, and I don't want you to miss out on any of the value that will be shared. So for those watching, I want to see where are you watching from. Let me know. I'm transmitting today from the beautiful city of Asaba. And so, like I said earlier, I'm not having perfect network, but I'm still going on with what we have to do. I see people watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Put it in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching. You joined us last week with Ufoma Ogbo, Buffy Cookhouse. She shared a lot with us. But today I'm going to bring the mad guy. Mad guy is here already in the studio. You know what it means to be mad. This guy is a champ. Met him a long time ago, and I've stayed glued to him since the day I met him. All right. Favor Oganegoma is here. He says, Favor Oganegoma says, how to take your brand global, watching from Warri Delta State. Fantastic. Ufoma Ogbo, our guest from last week, he says, I'm here. Thank you, Ufoma. Thank you for watching. Guys, do me a favor, quickly share the stream. Share it. That arrow under the way you're watching now, share it to others. Let the people in your network know that we are live here on Conversations with Segun. And tonight we have Abiola the Champ Salami, who's a global brand, is going to teach us tonight how to take our personal brands global. If you don't go global, you'll be shortchanging yourself. There's so much to be made. There's so much to gain from going global. And this man right here is to show us that step. Abiola Salami, I'm going to welcome you immediately onto the live stream tonight. We don't have so much time, but there's so much to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Abiola Salami. Brother, how are you this evening? Good evening, Abiola Salami. How are you?
Hey, we're here. Hey. Segun Manuel, how's it going, bro? Okay, I think the network seems to be fighting as well. People, if you're hearing me, no,
we can hear you.
Okay, great. I said, how you doing? How's it going? It's been some time, huh? It's been some time. It's been a while.
Fantastic. Welcome to the program this evening. How's Lagos?
Thank you. Lagos is fine. Yesterday, schools opened. Over the weekend, religious centers opened. So everywhere is open now in Lagos. So people can go about their businesses normally. But although some organizations are still not opened, a lot of organizations are still getting their staff to work from home. Some just have a fraction of their staff in the office, So, but gradually things are picking up in Lagos. And we are here. We are here.
Salami, welcome again. You said school resumed in Lagos. Sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying schools resumed in Lagos yesterday. That's Monday the 21st. And over the weekend, last weekend, religious centers could open as well. So churches, mosques, the Lagos state government said that churches can resume full worship services and mosques too. So five times daily prayer for Muslims, yeah, started over the weekend, and churches could go on. I mean, if the church hosts 3 services on a Sunday, that can go on, midweek services as well. But not all churches are, in as much as the government has said people can open up. Not all churches have opened. I mean, I attend House on the Rock, for example, and in the church we're still trying to put some protocols in place before the church will open. And businesses as well are opening, but not all businesses again are open. So but we're here, we're surviving, we're thriving. You know,
Fantastic.
and
So
I'm,
let me ask
I'm
a quick question.
okay.
How was the COVID for you? Did you do better or did it affect you negatively?
So perhaps because of the work I do, I did better, and did better because one is I had to do better, right? Because in times like this, in times of crisis, I mean, you are not just, you don't have to be, you can't afford to be part of people who just talk and not doing. Some people talk without doing, right? You have to be doing. One of my favorite scriptures, said that Jesus, how he began to do and teach, right? So it's not teaching and doing. So there were challenges. I mean, we were supposed to have a mega super launch, right, of a book, that just published, that I was about to publish rather, and we're supposed to host a mega event with some global icons that were already, sorted how to bring them into Lagos, Nigeria, and then COVID hit. So a lot of things had to change almost immediately. So having to renegotiate terms, having to reschedule things, having to watch a lot of things, Then, of course, from the business perspective as well, a lot of organizations that we were meant to serve, the way the business works is the first quarter is pretty much securing mandates here and there, booking your calendar for the entire year, and so there are a lot of changes that happened. Some converted to online, some suspended the deals, but in the middle of all of that, hey, we keeping on moving forward, so it's been a great experience so far, thriving, surviving, making a huge difference.
All right, fantastic. I usually will ask my guests, so did you make more money now or did you make less money? Straight to your face.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. And that's because for your kind of work, all you needed to do was move online, and some of it continued, apart from the ones that
Yeah,
you had
but
to shut down
it may
and wait
sound
for
simplistic if we
the
say
economy to open
all.
up.
No, see, it may sound simplistic if we say that all we needed to do was just move online. It's because there was something going on before COVID hit, by the way. It's because, hey, I see my brother, my big brother, Ubon King. Hello, bros.
Ubong Thompson King is here. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir,
I
for
know, bro.
joining us tonight.
So I was saying that it would be quite simplistic if we just say, oh, well, because of the kind of work you do, then you moved online. No. It would be simplistic. It's because there was something to offer. Before COVID, there was something we could move online, right? It's because there was confidence, a body of work, there's content, and it's in line with the discussion we're having today, making your brand become global,
Your
right? It's
personal brand
because
become global.
there's content, there's things to offer, then we can now be talking about the platform. Online is a platform. Online is not the work. Except if you're a technologist. Tell you a technology, a programmer, you have an app, except you're a technologist. If you're a user like me, and most of us, we are users. If you're a user, technology is not your business. Technology is a platform to broadcast your business. So you need to get the business right, and now use technology, to spread it, to make it scale. But a lot of people talk about technology like it's a new thing. It's actually not a new thing. Tech is not a new thing. Tech has always been over the past 2,000 years. Anything that makes people to do business better, or anything that makes people to communicate better is technology. So back in the day, I mean, there was a time that in the villages, the town crier will carry a gong and ring it all around to make an announcement to everybody in the village. Before the advent of the gong, they were just making noise. The gong was a technology as at that period. Now, so I don't think any village needs to use a gong now. I think the king would just maybe send a WhatsApp broadcast message to everybody, in the village or in the community, and just say, hey, guys, let us come together right now. So technology is not the business. Technology is just a platform to help us scale our businesses, and it's important for all of us to always remember that. I mean, people will talk about tech. We're not talking about the thing you are putting inside the tech, to make it great. Anyway, we're not talking tech today. I just thought
Yeah.
that it's important.
Fantastic. The conversation is already carrying on, but that's the way we're going. Where we're going today, I've heard you share your story of how you started and how you were able to, move around the challenges you had, losing your father, and now stepping into the outside world with what you had. And today you've been trained in by different organizations, and now you are training people across the world. My
I'm
my
sorry.
my
I'll need you
bride
to say that again. I lost you for a few seconds because of the network.
network. Okay, so I said you have been able to move from losing your father, starting out as a young man, resigning from the bank where you worked, got trained by different organizations, and now you are training people globally across the world and not just Nigeria. Share that story, because a lot of people are held back by what they think happened to them. Oh, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. I lost this person. Even if only my father was alive. Da 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 da. And they didn't do anything. But you moved from there to working in the bank, leaving the bank, getting trained by organizations. How are you able to move through this process? Share the story with us so that my viewers can learn tonight from that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. It's a long story, but I'll just nibble through it. The date was on the 19th of July 2001, and it's the year my life changed. I mean, I always call it the second phase of my life, because before 11 p.m., before around 11 p.m. on the 19th of July 2001, I was a son, firstborn, four siblings, a mother and father. I was in the university. I was looking at a bright future ahead of me. I didn't have to bother about my school fees because it's my dad whose responsibility is to pay the school fees. All I needed to bother about is succeeding in school. All I needed to bother about is the skills that I had. I was doing stage drama. I was doing music very well as well. And I just needed to improve myself in these skills, and then the future will be great. And then that night he passed. And so that night, I inherited one wife I did not propose to, and four children I did not give birth to. The one wife I did not propose to is my mom, and the four children I did not give birth to are my siblings. And many things changed for me. Many things changed for me as at then. I was just in my second year in uni as at that time. And once in a while, I just wish that I didn't spend, that gap between university, secondary school and university. I just wish I didn't have any gap. If I didn't have any gap by then, I would have been out of the university, But again, you cannot change what has happened behind you, right? You can only control what happens in front of you, and that meant a lot. So I'm firstborn. I don't have aunties or uncles who I could run to for anything. In fact, the reverse was the case when my dad was alive. They were always the ones running to him because he was breadwinner, and it looked like life had ended. Because there's no source. I mean, I remember many times where the money my mom will give to me wasn't even enough to take me from the house to the bus stop. And so I schooled in Ekiti State, right? I grew up in Ibadan. So the money I will receive is not even enough to take me to the bus park within Ibadan, let alone to take me out, to school, let alone school fees, let alone handout, let alone accommodation in the school, but somehow I just believe that if I can just get the minimum and find my way and get to the school, I mean, every other thing will sort itself. Many times some of my friends, will be the ones who remind me at 7 p.m. that I had not eaten, in the day back in school. And some of them were so gracious to me as well. One of them, her birthday was yesterday. Bola Jammer, if you are watching this, I remember. Thank you. So It was quite interesting. And but I've always believed that for every one of us, God created us for a purpose, and it's our responsibility to find out what that thing is. And in my contemplation, in my continuous quests, I just thought that I can afford to allow my background to put my back on the ground, right?
Yeah.
That if certain people have succeeded in life, that I can too. And it didn't matter whatever I did not have, the money I didn't have, the influence I didn't have, the people I didn't have. I didn't have anybody. I mean nobody, right? Nobody. So somehow struggle. Finish school, but I'd always known that the path I'm to choose is the path of helping people to think better, to know better, and to do better. And I also realized that as at the time I discovered that I think I was really smart, and I'll explain what I mean by being smart. I was smart enough to know that I was ignorant, to know that the only thing I knew was what to do, but I did not know how to do it. So I didn't jump to start to do it. I knew what I needed to do, but I knew I didn't have the knowledge, the skill, the swag. I didn't have anything, to do that thing that I need to get into. And so because of that, I subjected myself to process. So working in different organizations, right? Yes, I'd studied. I read a lot. One of my before the advent of ebooks, right now, one of my greatest treasure were the books I had. I remember relocating to Lagos with my green bag filled with books, a pair of suits, and one pair of shoes. Shagun Manuel, you will know what a shoot is. A suit is something that you wear. A shoot is something that wears you,
Now
right?
where's you,
If you are
man?
not if you are not careful enough, if you raise your hand when you are wearing a shoot, you may find yourself flying.
In the air. You can
That's
just
the
call
kind
the
of thing you
parachute.
call I believe I can fly. Coming in, right? And gaining knowledge continuously, but also getting to work in organizations. I always believe that the work that we do, that the greatest impact about the work that we do is not the income we earn, right? It's not even necessarily the relationships we build in those places or the promotion that we get. It is who we are becoming by the way we do the work. So if you want to be excellence, means that excellence is not about your name or about what you wear. Excellence also reveals itself in the way that you deliver on the work that you are doing. And you may not be an excellent person before you started working in certain places, right? But your commitment to working there, right? I know we have a lot of young people on this call. That's why I'm going back in time to discuss this, to share this like this. So the way you commit yourself to the work starts to make you to become a particular kind of person. We form our habits, and then our habits form us. That's the way it works. So, for example, you're not a time conscious person, right? Because in the school you attended, whichever time you like, you can get into the lecture room, and then so far you pass at the end of the semester, right? So far you pass at the end of the semester. But getting to a structured environment, because you even need to be structured yourself, whether you want to run your business as an entrepreneur or you want to grow in a career, it doesn't matter which of the two that you choose, and none of the two is superior to each other. It's important we also state that there are a lot of voices out there that are always telling people, be your own boss, fire your boss, all of those things that some people say. But it's important to know that yes, some people will be entrepreneurs, but some people will be growing in their careers, and it's important to know where you belong. It doesn't mean that if you are growing a career that you are inferior to those who are entrepreneurs. Your journeys are different, your challenges are different, right? Your results will be different, and no result is superior to each other, whichever path that you choose. The number of employed CEOs in Nigeria at the moment who are earning figures that a lot of entrepreneurs cannot command. And when I say earning figures, good figures that a lot of entrepreneurs cannot command. They're earning in hundreds of millions that a lot of entrepreneurs can't command. So it's not about, there's no superiority in being an entrepreneur or growing in a career. So, but whichever one that you want to do, it's important that you get to work somewhere so you can learn the ropes, so you can even become a structured person, which is my story. Anyway, I know that the network seemed to have gone off. Okay, he's back. Welcome back. So and so I got learning, and then from there, um, service as well, which is a great thing. As you continue to work, really committing to serving. A lot of people who are doing 9 to 5 think that they are working for the company that employed them without realizing that they're actually working for themselves, without realizing that they're actually robbing themselves of greater opportunities in future if they don't plant the seed today. It was the late Dr. Miles Monroe that say he or she that cannot see the ultimate is a slave to the immediate. A lot of young people who are working in 9 to 5.
Let me pause you. Let me pause you. Say that again. He
He
or
said
she.
that he or she, I'm adding the she now, he or she that cannot see the ultimate is a slave to the immediate. He or she that cannot see the future is a slave to the present. So a lot of young people are in 9 to 5, and the only thing they are gaining from that 9 to 5 is they are earning salary, right? And they're not developing themselves, right? They're not even fully committed to the job. And it's karma. It's not possible for you to run another person's business ineffectively and expect that your own business, you will run it effectively. By the way, even if you want to move into entrepreneurship later on, you said that, oh, you don't want to do 9 to 5 all your life. You're already molding yourself to become a particular kind of person in the place that you're working by the way you are doing the work. So you don't expect to be a latecomer in the 9 to 5 business and think that you'll become a timely person in your own business. You don't expect to be a mismanager in another person's business and you think that in your own business you will manage it well, because you are creating yourself, you are crafting yourself to become a particular kind of person. Where none of us is smart. We're all as smart as the influences we subject ourselves to, right? And you're subjecting yourself to an influence already that is making you and building you and shaping you and molding you. And then you just realize that the personality that you export from your 9 to 5 into the business that you want to build is exactly the same personality. If you are a failure at leading people in managing another person's business in the 9 to 5, you would fail at leading your team when you are running your business. If you are not great with people when you're in a 9 to 5, you won't be great with people when you're running your own business, except you have to do a complete overhaul, a complete mental reset, so that you can now be different from who you were while running the other business. And it will be more expensive for you because you will lose money, you will lose time, you lose a lot of things. Anyway, so learned that, and in the course of my service, I mean, one of the interesting things that happened to me, and this was in the bank, was and let me share this briefly. It was a Sunday, right? And there was a public holiday for Monday and Tuesday. I mean, if you're a banker and you're on this call, you know how we treasure our weekends, especially when you don't have to go to work on the weekend. Now, if the weekend you now have additional days of public holiday, especially when it's a Monday and a Tuesday, so you have a long weekend. See, it's like holiday. It's like something you have once in a lifetime. So I spent some time. I spent some time doing some other things on a Saturday, and then on the Sunday I went to church. I was looking forward to chilling full time on Monday and Tuesday. On my way from church, I got a call that a customer needed a particular transaction done. Segun, remember that there's public holiday on Monday and Tuesday. And so I needed to go to the office that Sunday, worked on a few documents, went to the customer's house in Banana Island, Banana Island. And then the customer signed some document. So on Monday, I resumed at work with my senior colleagues, and we started working on this project. It is, for those that may know, it is a credit, right? But the kind of credit it is, I'm forgetting this thing. It's a bank guarantee. Yes, so not like money.
You've left it so long now, you don't know the terms anymore.
That's 10 years ago, man. That's about 10 years. I left over a decade.
A whole decade.
So it's a bank guarantee. And so we started working on it. We were in holiday. Monday, Tuesday, we got all the necessary approvals, despite that we were on holiday. So on Wednesday, which was the next working day, so the customer couldn't wait to receive it. I had to take it to the customer in Cross River. Now, the destination is actually Uyo, but I was to meet with a proxy of the customer in Cross River and give it to the person. So around 10 a.m. or so on the Wednesday, the person taking the document to you, called me to find out if the document was ready. The document wasn't ready. He told me he'll be flying out by 2 p.m. I told him he shouldn't worry, that even if I have to come and meet him at the airport, I would do. So it was about 1:30 p.m. that I got the approval ready, right, for the document. So you know what I did? In front of the head office in VI, I called a bike. That time they had not banned bike. Uncle Fash had not banned bike in Lagos. So I jumped on the bike in VI and told the bike man that I was going to the airport. The guy was confused. The guy looked at me like,
from VI to airport.
Okay. You mean Ikeja? I say yes. So straight down, Third Mainland Bridge on the bike, straight down, So we shall go to the airport. I hope that the people listening to this, watching this, you probably know VI to Ikeja to the airport. So as soon as I jumped down from the bike, with the document, in my armpit, my phone in my ears like this, trying to reach out to the person I was meeting, and I was using my other hand to pay for the fare. I just his phone wasn't connecting again, and then I just kept running into the airport, and I saw that a plane was leaving the tarmac. That was his plane that left the tarmac. So what did I do? What I did next was to go to the counter to book the next flight going to Calabar. Now, you would have thought that, why didn't you tell the next flight to go and drop the document for you? We're talking about excellence and commitment. One, I wouldn't have done that because, number one, there are some transactions that it is okay for you to be lost and the transaction is found than for you to be found and the transaction is lost. It's better that they found the transaction and they say that, so they cannot put up some announcement that, we're looking for a gentleman who is so height, dark in complexion. It's better that, because the money was huge. It was 3 billion naira, that we're talking about. Right. In today's money, it was 1 billion that time, but it's around 3 billion now. The value of that money, of the transaction rather, that time. Anyway, so I got on the plane later on in the evening, and by the way, I booked the flight. I did not even call my office, to tell them what the problem is, because nobody's interested in your problem. Nobody's interested in the problem you encounter. People are only interested in the solution that you are delivering, right? Your boss is not interested in you rehashing the problem. What your boss is interested in knowing the solution you have provided to the problem. You can now give a report on the problem, but you are giving a report from the solution perspective. And you see, these things we are discussing, they are built up to becoming a global brand, because being a global brand is not just about you, getting some logos up and then even relocating to the US. And by the way, there are some people who are sluggards here in Nigeria, who were unserious people here in Nigeria, who thought that their meal ticket is just so far they relocate, that life will be good for them. And when they relocated, they realized that they had to change their attitude, right? Because there's nobody that will hand you anything when you go there. Nobody will hand you any money, or, you can call on your brother, your friend here, and you do party, and somebody will sort you out. Nobody sorts out anybody, right, on the other side. So the skills they would have developed here, they left it undeveloped, and they got there. Well, they had no choice than to develop it. Anyway, so jumped on the plane, and then we got on the plane. We got to Calabar, and then our plane could not land because of the storm. Segun, it was so bad. It was so bad. That was the day. If you thought Nigerians are religious, right, you don't know anything at all. That was the day I realized how religious we were. Because there are some people that once you see them, you wouldn't think this one doesn't know any God, maybe as Muslim or as a Christian, right? But man, you need to see people panicking. Some lady that what she was wearing, she was almost showing everything her mama gave her all out. I just realized that she had a rosary in her bag. When the situation was tough, she brought it out. She started saying, la ilaha illallah, wa muhammadun rasulullah, doing all of that. There's some other gentleman, who was, just bouncing funny, who was dressed funny, big chain and all of that. The guy had this, you remember this small Bible that has Proverbs, Psalms, and the New Testament. What's this Bible called now? I don't remember what that there's a small blue Bible, right? The guy had it. He brought it out. He was reading Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. It makes me lie down in green pasture. It was really terrible. We were up there, right? We're up there. And later on, so we could not land in Calabar. We had to return to Lagos that night. So 1 hour toll, 1 hour in the air, another 1 hour back, right? That's about 3 hours journey. We didn't achieve the aim. Now, what did I do? The following day, almost immediately booked the next flight and went back again. A lot of people were afraid for me that, oh, God just saved you from plane crash last night. And then first thing this morning, you took on another flight to go and deliver on this job. Is your father the owner of the bank? And I said to them that, no, my father is not the owner of the bank, but I understand the place of commitment. I understand the place of service and the place of excellence. Now, I cannot tell you, even in running Champ, I cannot tell you how much of credit I have received because of that one transaction, even after leaving the bank. You know, I have a very senior friend and mentor who is an MD of one of the banks now, who we were on that transaction together. He was a group head that time. I was just an ET that time. The distance is not here. The distance between the two levels is not here. But we have a solid relationship years after that transaction because of that transaction. So I'm stressing that example because many times when we think that we're working for people, we're actually working for ourselves, and we may miss a lot of opportunities. Oops. And we may miss a lot of opportunities.
Where would you continue?
Yeah, and we may miss a lot of opportunities if we don't commit, full time into this. So all of that, on and on, progressed. So by the way, this may be interesting for that story. So you might have thought that, okay, since I risked my life, I did all of these things, and by the way, some 1 billion naira came in. Yeah, Gideon Bible, thank you. Gideon Bible, that's what I was trying to remember. Andrew, thanks. So you might have thought that, oh, I risked my life. Then later on, some good money came into the bank. In fact, it was in current account. For those who understand these terms, that 1 billion came into current account. It means you don't have to pay anybody for that money. Rather, you are earning a lot on that money. You may think that I would have been promoted, but no, I wasn't. And a lot of people were disgruntled. A lot of people were upset that why won't you be promoted? In fact, someone else got promoted on my sweat, but it's okay. I was not happy with it, but I wasn't disgruntled. Why? Because I remember that quote by Dr. Miles Monroe, that he that cannot see the ultimate is a slave to the immediate. I could see my ultimate, I could see my future, I could see the skills that I'm developing, I could see the relationships that I'm developing, and I understand that the fact that you've taken away this promotion from me doesn't mean you've taken away my life from me. Doesn't mean you've taken away the future from me, because the future is bright, because the future is great. See, that the only reason I may be discouraged or upset is if I have lost my essence. But I didn't lose my essence. I didn't even lose an opportunity. I wasn't just given this, but there are greater days ahead, better days ahead. So, and because of that, not too long after that, I got another job to work in a different organization. And what I was earning in this new organization, Segun, was ×4 of what I was earning in the bank. I became, from an ET, I became a senior manager in this IT firm. I mean, I was the youngest person, on that managerial level. Of course, it comes with its own price as well, because some people who have been there before you were born will be wondering, what's this small boy doing? But again, when there are times to discuss issues, when there are problems to be solved, and wisdom speaks, they will. They will lean back again and say, oh, okay, well, we're solving the problem. When there's time to represent the organization and you get into the place and you open your mouth to talk and people are listening and nodding their heads, everybody will calm down, because you see, results speaks. And we should not be fooled by a result. We should understand the process that led to the result, because results could be deceptive. See, anybody can get results. And it's important we say this, because a lot of people talk about results and results. Anybody can get results. But the most important thing about the result, any result you admire, is the process through which the person having that result got the result. We need to be more interested in the process than we're even interested in the result. Because if I am interested in your process and I can replicate your process, I can get your result. But if I cannot replicate your process, if your process is something you cannot really share, if your process is something that you cover up and you use something else, and you share something else as where you're making the money from or where you're getting the influence from, we keep confusing people, which is what a lot of things that happens on social media these days. People are earning income that are not from legitimate sources, but they use other sources to explain it, and then a lot of young people are confused because they've tried it, it's not working, right? And it's not working. Now, these timeless lessons of excellence, of commitment, of being visionary, of being sacrificial, of staying there, of growing, of investing any amount in yourself to develop yourself and to grow. These timeless principles work anywhere, any day, anytime. So a lot of other stories, about debaters, about Les Brown, a lot of other stories.
Tell us. I want you to share the story about debaters and Les Brown, because we're talking about taking your personal brand global. Those, apart from the story of how your banking story and how you moved and all of that, moving to debaters, meeting Les Brown has helped in positioning you as a global brand. What are the lessons you got from all of that? Share with us.
Yeah. Okay. So the debaters was a reality TV show that held for 2 seasons. The first season was 2009. The second season was 2010. Now I do music, I act, I speak, I have a number of skills, right? And I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about back in the day. And to a large extent, these skills were good, right? I was good at it. So I said to myself that, you know what, I won't go for any of these music shows, right? I won't even go for, there was that Maltina Dance Hall that time. I won't even go for any acting. I can't dance. That's the only one I can't do, but neither will I do. It was Celebrity Takes Two, but there was another dance show, back then. Anyway, I won't do all of that. I was watching one day and I saw the debaters. I said, "This is my show." I remember telling my friend, Funshaw, in case you are watching this, I remember telling my friend that, you know what, I'll be on this show next year. We're just watching it in his room, right, in 2009. I said, you know what, I'll be on this show next year. Of course, because it's my guy. And I looked at him like, I beg you, don't start with your mouth again. But it's my guy, So, but the following year I was on it. And because I realized that, see, I've known since my penultimate year in the university, that what I want to live my life doing is to help people to know better so they can think better, so they can do better. I remember I also said that I knew that I was smart enough to know my ignorance. I didn't have the knowledge, the exposure, the swag. I didn't have any of those, right? I didn't have the experience. And I wanted to, the way I wanted to do mine is not necessarily by sitting down under someone to tell me what to tell people. No, it is by going into the field, getting dirty, getting my hands dirty, seeing it myself, touching it myself. I remember back in the day, my colleagues will tell me that they don't even know where I'm creating all my stories from, because I always have a perspective when we are working. While people are slothful, I'm always energized, charging ahead. And I'll just be sharing stories with them. They'll be wondering, what's this guy talking about? But these days, they don't wonder again, because some of them are part of the people paying the heavy money, to listen to perspectives, So I went on the debaters because I thought it's a great platform. Shout out to Antimo Abudu for creating that platform, because it's a great platform.
So what even happened to that platform now?
So after the second season, we stopped it, and then Ebony Live TV came on some 3 years or 4 years or so afterwards. But I know that she will bring it back up again. They
should bring it back up. We must not have only things like Big Brother. We need things that would stretch us intellectually.
Yeah. And that I didn't even know the extent of that exposure. Until I got off the show. I didn't win the show.
That's where I first saw you.
Yeah. Oh, great. Oh, I feel like a superstar now. Come on. So I didn't even know the effect. I was the first to be evicted on the show, by the way. So not that I won the show, right? But I'm glad that I went there, that I learned all I learned, that I got the exposure. It's when I got off the show, the company I was working with, started treating me a bit differently. Of course, I was the face of whatever we had to sell, going forward. And that helped. And while that had happened to me, I realized that it's important to continue to develop this skill, even on a global scale, not just on a local scale, on a global scale. And I got to know about Les Brown's Communicate Your Way to Greatness, which I signed up for, right? And by the way, it was an online program. These days, 2020, when people are talking about online, like it's a new thing. This was 2011, right? This was about 10 years ago, right? It was an online program. I mean, we would download videos. We were live with him, and then the crowning of that program, we were all supposed to be in Los Angeles. I couldn't go to Los Angeles, and there was a competition. He called it they called it Communication Idols Contest. There's American Idols, but there's Communication Idols Contest. And out of about 1,000 of us or so that sent in our entries, I came 7th, globally on that show. Now, what did it give to me? It increased my confidence level. It made me know that, oh yeah, you can do more. You can still grow more. And by the way, this is a guy that grew up in a town where the way they call chocolate is succulate. What they call chair is sia. If they would now want to make it worse, they say kusin sia, right? I mean, that's the kind of place I grew up. And this is the guy that grew up in that kind of place. And now on a global platform, competing with people who are native English speakers, coming 7th out of hundreds of people who submitted their entries. So it increased my confidence level, and I kept on charging, to learn more. Because you see, the truth is, what you don't have, you can't give. It is when you have that you can give. But unfortunately, a lot of people with noise, right, out there confusing a lot of other people. And I think some people like to be confused as well. So they are following people, giving them a baggage of confusion.
So Abiola, let me ask you, where was the point you thought that after the debaters, you thought, oh, I needed something more? Where was that point where you said, oh, let me go for Les Brown? You could have said, oh, let me go for something local. Or you could have said, oh, I lost. I came out. I was the first person that left the house. What was that thing that shifted and said, look, I need to take this thing bigger. I need to take it higher. I need to take it global. More importantly, you're just saying now that this global thing we're talking now didn't start today. It didn't start during Corona. It didn't start after Corona either. People have been doing global. People have been doing online. But what convinced you at that time to say, look, let me take this thing global and go and do a course with Les Brown?
Okay, so let me go a little bit spiritual. The book of Acts 1:8, Jesus said, you shall receive power when the Holy Ghost has come upon you. So now, let me complete that verse with my own understanding. It said, so, Abiola, you shall receive power after the Holy Ghost has come upon you. For me, the expression of that Holy Ghost is the skills that I have, which I believe I didn't give myself, which I think I was graciously bestowed by God as a talent, and it's my responsibility to work it so that I can profit from it. And so my understanding of the remaining part of that verse is that I shall be witnesses. I shall be raising champions, inspiring people to become champions in Lagos, in Southwest Nigeria, in the whole of Nigeria, in West Africa, in Africa, and everywhere across the globe. So it is God's responsibility to give me talent and to give me direction. It is my responsibility to profit from that talent and that direction by making the necessary sacrifices, learning from the very best of the very best, positioning myself for global competitiveness. That is my own responsibility. And so the focus has never been on Abiola Champ. The focus has been, how best do I serve this category of people? If I don't have what they need, how best can I go get what they need so that I can continuously be of service to this set of people? Because you see, it is said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And this is where the get mad we were talking about earlier comes in. But if you really want a different result, you should be willing to make a difference, which is developing your competencies, right? Working on your character, which is important, unleashing your creativity so that you can add value. And it's not about noise making. It's not about noise making. It's not about claiming status. I mean, there's a lot of status claiming, in different places. I would say I'm the only one, I'm the best, I'm the first. And it's not about confession. It's not about all those things about your confession will lead to your possession. If you like, confess from here till January next year, hunger. hunger? Why are you like this? Right? It's not about confession. It's about your consistent action. It's about your
True.
consistent action. And there are a lot of people who are taking action who are not necessarily talking, right? And you see results, right? There are a lot of people, they are not even necessarily announcing their results, right? And carrying megaphone to announce the results. I mean, I've engaged with a few people, that will be asking me that, where have you been? You've been around for a while. I say, yes. Yes, I've been around. Well, those I'm serving, they know.
They know you.
Those who are paying consistently, they know. Those who will call, who will show up in their places, they know.
They know. So I'm going to
So
ask
it's
you
it's
if I'm
it's
going
not
I'm going to
about
Abiola, I want to ask you a final question so that we get a landing because we're almost out of time.
okay.
People watching here want to go global. They want to grow their personal brand to become a global brand. For some guy watching from Warri, for some guy in Lagos and wherever they are, what are those three quick things you think they need to do on your fingertip? It might be five, but quick three. Do this, do this, do this, and you're on the
Okay.
road to getting become.
Okay. Cool. Are you there? Okay. So I guess he has asked the question. Let me answer, and I hope people can hear my responses. One
We
is
can hear
mindset.
you.
The first one is your mindset. See, you cannot have the mindset of a local champion and say that you want to become a global brand. It's not possible. Your mindset. And when I say your mindset, I'm not referring to what you say, the confessions you make, no. The deep-seated thought in your mind about different kinds of people. There are some people on this call watching me right now that you are only comfortable with people of your faith. So if you're a Christian and there are Muslims, you're not comfortable with them. You're only comfortable with Christians. So there are some people, you're male, you're only comfortable with 7 males and, not with females. I mean, and different shades of it. So for the mindset, you have to expand your mind to know that it is about serving people, that you could have grown up in Oregon, Ikeja in Lagos, but you can be touching Oregon and serving people. You could have grown on and been battered in Mushin and you can be touching Michigan. You can have a shop in Alabama, but it doesn't mean you cannot expand to Alabama, right? You can be in Warri as we are talking now. It doesn't mean you can't be doing stuff with them in Warwick, right? So it's about that global mindset first. It starts with the mind. I mean, see, when all of this was happening, when the debaters was happening, when Les Brown was happening, I was in my one-room apartment in Ikoyi, right? While I was doing all of that, I was in my one small room apartment and I was touching the globe. I was reaching out. I was developing. So it doesn't really matter what your background is. You don't want your background to put your back on the ground. It is your mind. It is your mind. You want to start to see yourself differently. So one of the things you can do is buy the map of the world, right? Buy the globe. Put it in your room. Put it where you will always see and always look at it. Turn it around. Turn it around. See all the countries in Africa. See all the continents. See Asia. See Europe. See Australia here, see South America here, see North America here, look at Canada here. I mean, just keep looking. Don't allow yourself to be limited to the place you are. It starts with the mind. The mind is very important. Your mind, your state of mind. So the kind of music you listen to, the kind of people you listen to as well, it don't have to be all local, right? They can be global as well. I mean, for me, I like global music, right? Of course, I'm in tune with local music. I like global movies as well, right? And all of that, what I'm trying to do is to shape my mind, to take my mind off mediocrity. Now, Nollywood is doing a great job now. I mean, back in the day, they were not all that back in the day. And so because I didn't want to take in the mediocrity, I don't pay much attention to the storyline or even to the movies that they're doing. I go look for what will bring excellence into my mind. So you need to develop that mindset. You need to have an excellent mindset. The second thing is you want to pay attention to details in everything you do. You want to make sure that you are
attention to details.
Yes, pay attention to details. You want to be world class in everything you do. You see, you can do a small thing, but do it in a classy way. I mean, my very first program on the 15th of December, 2012, my very first program, I held it at Radisson Blue Hotel. Very first program. I held it at Radisson Blue Hotel. And why did I do that? I mean, my other friends were holding their programs in other places, right? And we all started in that 2012. right? They were holding their programs in other places. I chose that, you know what, I will not hold mine in those other places. I want to go to a classy environment. Of course, I paid for it. Of course, the hall was not filled up, you know, but the message, what went out to people, which I wasn't even conscious of, is that, you know what, this thing is not child's play. And from then, any event that I've engaged in, any event that I've done, I mean, we've used the best of halls in Lagos. Is it the Muson Center? Is it Civic Center? Is it a hotel and suites? We've used the best of places. Even if you are doing a small thing, do it in a classy way. Pay attention to details, because what you are trying to do to yourself, it may stretch you, but when it stretches you, you don't go back to that point. It's like an elastic, right? It's like an elastic that doesn't go back to the previous point where you are. When it stretches you, you start to think on a different level or another level. And one of the things that will happen when you're doing that as well is you're not only doing it for yourself, you're also doing it for your industry. I mean, so somewhere along the line, you know, my colleagues, they'll be having events, and then of course they choose these classy places as well, you know, 1 year or 2 years later on. And I thought, yes, this is great. We're all growing together, right? So not just for yourself alone, because I believe that the way you deliver the assignment that God has given to you, it is not just about you. It is always about the people around you, the people observing, the people learning from you. Some of them you may not know. Some of them may not even acknowledge it, right? Some of them will see you pass by you, but it doesn't really matter. The great thing is that we are using it. Remember the parable of the talent. Some had four, some had five, some had three, one had one, and the guy dug, he said he will not use it. So that one that you have, that's your one that you have. Let me talk like a worry guy. That's your one that you have, right? Use it, do it in a classy way. So I've talked about mindset, which is important. I've talked about paying attention to details, which is the second one. And the final thing I want to talk about is be willing to make the necessary sacrifices. Be willing to make the necessary sacrifice. You see, being a global brand is not just mouth. It's not just about confession, right? You need to be willing to make the necessary sacrifices on the high level. Part of being a global brand, one of the latest things I did, you know, pre-COVID, is back to back. I went to 2 top business schools. One top business school in Africa, that's Lagos Business School, where I went to do an AMP program. It's called Advanced Management Program, right? It is for senior executive. Sorry, it is for C-level executive, not today. It's senior management, right? Of course, it didn't come cheap, right? Perhaps in my entire class, I guess I'm the only one that was an entrepreneur, you know, that no, I'm not the only one that's an entrepreneur. But I'm the only one that's an entrepreneur on my level. Let me use that word carefully. On my level, right? They didn't come cheap. Because why? The idea is to be global. Now, I didn't wait there. I was in Harvard, right? As well, and it was back to back. So it was back to back, right? Harvard for a couple of weeks, 4 solid weeks, man. You know, I was joking with my friend the day I received the debit alert for what I paid in Harvard. I said, "Oh boy, virtue has left me." I said, "Man, so boy, when I paid that money, virtue left me." But the thing is, it is great. It's a worthy sacrifice. It's the right thing to do to become a global icon, you know. And I mean, from there, there's a new thing. There's a new book coming out, you know, that has Harvard written all over it. You know, that has that globalness written all over it. You know, and when you're producing any product, anything that comes out of you, let people have that expectation of excellence. Let people see excellence all around in everything you do. The way you dress, the way you talk. You don't just open. See, the fact that you grew up in Warri or in Ibadan or in Idumota or in Enugu doesn't mean the moment you open your mouth, people know the village that you have come from. No, right? You can also develop yourself. That's part of being global, right? Such that when you open your mouth to talk, they don't immediately say, "Oh, that guy is from Ikotepene," right? No. You can develop yourself as well, make the necessary sacrifices. There are places you can learn elocution, you can learn how to speak well, right? And it's not about for the people. It's not about that's another people will be pretending. No. You can be authentic so that you are clear wherever you talk, people can understand what you're saying. So these are the few thoughts I have to share.
Fantastic, Abiola, the champ. You have given us so much today, and you have pushed us to be mad, to make a difference. That's what mad means. You have pushed us to make a difference. I want to thank you. We've run out of time, but we have not wasted this time. We have invested it. Please, guys, say thank you to Abiola Salami in the comment section. Thank you, brother, for coming. even on short
Thank you.
notice. I
Thank you.
celebrate you for doing this, and thank you for pouring out your heart out to us on how to take our brand global. Guys, much love to Abiola Salami. Have a wonderful night, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks. Thank you very much. So,
All right, that's been Conversations with Segun tonight. I know we've had some network challenges because I'm out of my city, but anyhow, I've been able to do this very well. Thank you for watching. For those who have not already liked our Facebook page, go like the page. For those of you who are also watching from YouTube, kindly subscribe to our page. There's so much content there that you don't want to miss out. All right, my name is Segun Manuel. I've gone beyond our time. I'll see you next Tuesday. We are Nii Soyinka will be here with us on Conversations with Segun. You don't want to miss that. If you have not already shared the stream, please kindly share and do have a wonderful night. I'm out.